everybody. I'm Cari Deckert with Homestead Financial Mortgage, loan officer here. And today I have a special guest. Vanessa, please introduce yourself.
Hi, Cari. So, my name is Vanessa Burrell, and I am out of the Hern group with Keller Williams in Overland Park. And today we are going to talk about
how to start the home buying process. So tell me, Vanessa, what do you think the first step is for your buyers?
So, I usually like it when my buyers pick out an entrusted realtor first. And I say that because most realtors have a really good team backed by them that they can refer their buyer to for anything that they might need. You know.
So that includes everybody. That's your title company, your inspectors,
your lender. That is everybody. When a buyer comes to me, they're usually not pre-approved anyways. And I refer them to a great lender. And then, we start the home buying process, and, I've already got a title company for them. I've already got an inspector for them. They're not having to do anything. They're not having to pick out, and stress about anything.
Right.
They pick out a realtor, and that realtor helps them and guides them for every aspect of the process that they might need.
Right.
Yes.
So at that point, then you recommend them to head on to what, the pre-approval process?
Yeah. So they get pre-approved. Once they get pre-approved, usually the lender's going to call me and say, hey, we have such and such pre-approved. Okay, great. I'm going to call them, and then we meet for a one-on-one buyer's consultation. Always do a buyer's consultation. You have to set the expectations up front. So, we, through the buyer's consult, we'll sit down, we go through the process, we go through the time frames, we go through all the contracts, and we do it step by step so that they know what to expect. And although they might have questions along the way, at least they're familiar because they were advised and explained to up front.
Sure.
Oh, well, I know inspections are next, and I know it's going to take 10 days. And then I know in the meantime my appraisal is going to be getting done, and then all we do is wait for closing.
Right. Right.
Or
So after the pre-approval process, though, right after that, then you go into what you call your one-on-one.
My one-on-one. In that one-on-one, we sit down. I have them fill out a form that basically lets me know what their must-haves are, stuff they're not willing to budge on, stuff that they might be willing to budge on, if they found a good house at a good price point, what their must-haves are, stuff like that.
Things they can live with.
Things they can't live without.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have 4 bedrooms. We'd like 3 bathrooms, but we can live with 2. We'd like a 2-car garage, but we could probably live with 1, or we need 3, or a lot of times, is we need an in-law suite, or we need to be able to make one.
Right.
Or, we'd really like a pool, or
right.
a big backyard, or it needs to be a corner lot. I mean, daylight basement, it has to be a walkout. I mean, just what your must-haves are,
So, and then after that point,
yes.
Then you get into maybe the agency agreements.
We get into, we immediately go into a buyer's agency because that's a contract that allows me to represent them. And I tell all new buyers, a buyer's agent doesn't cost you anything.
That's the number one question I get.
That's a good question.
I get a lot of people that have no idea of that.
None.
Yeah.
You hear people that are like, oh, well, we just use the seller's agent, or we just use the listing agent, or we just use the agent that was in the house, or, your own agent to represent you.
We're going to apologize for a second. The mowers are right out the window. That's our luck, right? But that's okay. We're going to continue.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So,
but the agency and the importance of a buyer's agent, people just don't realize that.
That agent has a duty to you and you only, to represent you. If you pick out an agent that's representing both sides, he only has a real duty to one of you. They can't help you with what you think you should pay or what you think you should ask for or timelines or negotiations. They can't help you with any of that.
Yeah.
They can just fill out the contract.
And the bottom line is having a buyer's agent. Now you are negotiating on their behalf for their best interest.
Yes.
So it's really important.
And walking them through the process.
Yeah.
Now they have a go-to person.
Yeah.
That they can trust because they only work for you.
Yeah. Exactly.
And people need that. People need their own title company, their own, as a previous underwriter, I can't tell you how many times there were title issues because, title work wasn't done right or it didn't get transferred right, and most of the times it's because.
So now they'll have an expert on their side that can help them.
On their side, advocating for them, and it doesn't cost them anything.
Right.
In Kansas,
so know that, buyers.
Know that. In Kansas and Missouri, the seller pays commissions.
Yeah.
So it doesn't cost you anything to have someone negotiating for you and advocating for you and making sure things are done to your expectations.
Right. Seller pays for that.
Yes.
So do it. It's very important.
Do it.
Yeah.
Always get your own agent.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So now we have the agency agreement.
We have the agency agreement, and in the meantime, they've already picked out kind of what they want in a house. So we go straight into an MLS search, which is a listing service we have that provides all the listings in the area for them, right?
Right.
So in that search, they might pick out 10 homes. But if you drive past, you might only like 3 of them because you're gonna know immediately when you drive into a neighborhood whether it's the right neighborhood for you.
So you think it's a good idea once they do pick out a
few
houses
to drive by
first.
Drive by it. You're gonna know whether it's across the street from a stop sign.
You might not like the neighbor. They might not take care of their yard.
They might not take care of their yard. It might not be within walking distance of one of your must-haves. It might not be, that the pictures, and we all know this, can be deceiving. So it's always best to drive past the house and say, oh yeah, this is a really nice house.
Yeah.
And then once you've picked out a few, we go look because all the houses you pick out should have your must-haves.
So you basically will sit down with your buyers and look at MLS.
We go through the MLS. We check mark all your must-haves, and you're only going to see houses that have your must-haves. You're not going to see any.
So you can filter all that out.
Filter it all out. So it's going to be within your price range. It's going to be within the neighborhood you want. It's going to have your must-haves, what you're willing to budget on.
It can be FHA compliant, conventional compliant,
it'll
USDA,
be filtered.
whatever it would be.
It'll be filtered. So you're only going to see houses that are already FHA. I get that a lot. Of buyers will send me a house that they found on Zillow. It's within their price range. But then you go to look at it on the MLS. Well, it's not. They're not selling it FHA,
and that's where their
your pre-approval is, or it's cash or conventional only. It's not USDA or VA, even though it's in that kind of area.
Right.
They're not selling it USDA.
Right.
So I tell people Zillow is a great tool to find a house, but it's not going to filter those things out for you.
Okay.
So it's always great, like I said, to find your own realtor that can help you. They don't cost you anything.
Right. Yeah. So at that point then, okay, so say we see a house and we like it.
Yeah.
So we
go look at it.
Mm-hmm.
You've already got your pre-approval because that is the first step. You should never go see a house without a pre-approval because you can't make an offer on it.
Right.
If you can't make an offer on it, by the time you get your pre-approval, you go back to the house, it could be sold.
In today's market,
crazy. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
I just sold a house 2 weeks ago that was only on the market for a day. They put it on and said all offers are being looked at tonight.
Yeah.
You literally have like 15 hours to look at the house.
Right.
Or it immediately says all offers are being accepted, no later than 8 o'clock Sunday night.
So in today's market, very important that you move fast.
You move fast. You want to be able to walk into a house and not waste your time, not waste the agent's time, and not waste, anybody's time, and have that pre-approval and say, yeah, this is the house for me.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, we put in an offer. And you know what? Offer accepted.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Offer accepted, which happens all the time, right?
Yeah. Excellent. We're ready for that. So at that point, we move forward to...
move forward to inspections, which all this stuff is gone over through the buyer's consult. So my buyer immediately knows that if they won or their offer was accepted.
Right.
When's inspections? Well, I've already called my inspector and set up inspections for your day off. Because
So it
I know
happens
when
quick.
that is. It happens quick.
Mm-hmm.
In the buyer's consult, you're advised that inspections and resolutions, which means, whatever you find in that house, have to be completed within 10 days.
So you tell me that during the inspection process, there's different types of repairs that need to be made. Tell me about that.
Okay.
That's important.
There are.
Very important.
I definitely like to go over people before inspections because people get wrapped up in inspections.
Right.
That inspector is there to advocate on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
He's there to let you know exactly what you're buying. He's not there to scare you away from the house. He's not there to say, run,
Yeah.
He's there to say, this is exactly what you're buying. And he's going to tear that house apart for you.
Right.
But like any house, you have to know what you're buying.
And there's always something that needs to be fixed. We all have honey to-do lists at our own house.
Right?
Always.
When you buy a car, you know exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
You get that 362-point inspection and they tell you exactly what you're buying. Does that mean they're going to go and put new tires on it because they're not brand new? No.
Yeah.
Right? Does that mean they're going to, put new windshield wiper blades on it because they need to be replaced before you buy it? Probably not, They're going to tell you that the oil change needs to be done in 700 miles. Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Right? Just like a house, that inspector is going to tell you. My inspector, my favorite inspector, will break it down into about 3 parts for you. One is, here's what you need to know about your house. This is how old everything is. This is, the kind of insulation you have. He's going to break down all your big stuff and everything. Then you have your middle of the road stuff he's going to tell you about. Your honey to-do list, and that could be anything from, the landscaping blocks in the front will probably need to be re-glued.
Right.
Or, the faucet might need a little bit, or some updates here and there. Little things. Some light bulbs need to be changed. I mean, it could be...
Which is super simple.
Anything.
Yeah.
And I've seen foundation things that show up on an inspection report, but they're really honey to-do list things because they're not like in such disrepair that they need to be done right now. And then you have your defective items, which I tell people
that could be a safety issue, right?
Safety issues.
That's a big deal.
If they're major safety issues or they're lender guidelines, you're going to have to ask for those to be repaired.
Yeah.
Those are the things we're looking for in an inspection. The things that have to be done because, it's an immediate safety issue or it's an immediate, this is going to cause problems in the house if you don't get it fixed.
Or zoning or county.
Yes.
That type of thing.
Yeah, and we're talking like, GFCIs not being beside a water source. Have your GFCIs replaced. Or, flashing.
Handrails for FHA.
Handrails for FHA.
Yeah.
Or flashing not being, flashing's a big thing, because it's the life of your roof.
Right. So really, the inspector, the most important thing with that is that there are different categories.
Yeah, there are different categories.
So are you going to fight with somebody that maybe needs to do a little simple...
No.
My
inspectors tells me on average about 60 items pull up on any given inspection home. When he goes to see a home, about 60 items pull up. You might ask for 2, maybe 6 items on 60 that pull up on your house.
Yeah.
Because most of the time it's a honey to-do list.
Yeah.
Or it's something that, I know I'm going to need to replace my water heater in 5 years now because I know my inspector just told me it's 4 years old.
Right.
Most water heaters last 8 to 12 years.
Right. So you have, once that's all done, the inspection's done, you have 10 days to get all that sorted out, right?
In real estate, everything's on a timeline. So you should always know what to expect. You get your inspections done, you ask for certain things, you're done. Once you get that to the seller has 5 days to say, hey, I'll fix all this. Or, hey, let's renegotiate this. But they have 5 days. Once their 5 days is up and you're done with inspections, usually the appraisal's already been ordered or getting ordered. Then you're waiting for the appraisal to come back. Once the appraisal is back, you're waiting on your lender to take your file to underwriting.
So really, that's where kind of it stops with you.
It stops with me.
And then we move on to us.
And we go back to the lender.
And we'll do that another day. We'll get into that. But so the main thing is you get through your inspections, get all that completed. Then you come up with, if there's any issues, a resolution to those issues.
Yeah.
And then we move forward with that.
You know, and I mean, it's basically just you pick out a house, you go through inspections, you know, wait for your appraisal just to make sure that you're buying a house that, you know, you're not overpaying for. You're definitely not going to overpay for your house.
Absolutely.
You know? And, which I've had, you know, not by much, but, you know, I mean, a seller...
At that point, you renegotiate.
It's just renegotiating. You know, you put an offer in for $200,000, the appraisal comes back at $196. You go back and say, hey, it appraised for $196. We're going to offer you $196.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Are you paying full appraisal value? Yes. But are you paying overprice? No.
Great. So this gives us a really good start.
Good start.
Yeah, and kind of how the process works. Typically, most contracts, you know, depending on the program, 30 to 45 days.
Always do, you know, unless they're going with a specific program,
Sometimes
we close within 30 days.
Yeah.
You know, if you're getting down payment assistance, or you're going USDA, or maybe even
changes
VA,
the timeline a little bit. Sometimes
you're probably going to extend that out to 45 or 60 days.
Great. So, well, thanks for joining us today. Vanessa, please tell us how people can get a hold of you.
So, you can find me on Facebook at Vanessa Burrell, Burrell, or you can call me 913-333-1196, or email me, you know. I love email. So it's Vanessa Burrell, my full name, at HernHomes.com.
So thanks for taking the time and listening to us, and watch for our series of videos.
So we're going to start walking people through the process of different financing, different ways to find a home, and it'll be fun.
So thanks for joining us today, and we will talk to you guys soon.
Thanks. Guys.